Imagine trying to type on a keyboard using a big rubber ball.
You're trying to make it pointy.
That's the kind of problem Victor Saron tries to help solve at Yahoo's Accessibility Lab. Born in Ukraine, he lost his eyesight as a child.
Well, when I saw a computer for the first time, suddenly something clicked in my mind, and I was like, wow, this is such a great tool. I can do so many things. I can scan books, I can compose music, I can go to encyclopedia, I can browse websites. And so I got into accessibility field maybe by need, if you will, because that's technology I live on everyday basis.
Start it again.
The lab helps programmers and developers understand how disabled people use computers and access the internet. For users with limited hand movement, a single button replaces the keyboard. For users paralyzed from the neck down, a head mouse was developed. The computer can sense where the user is looking thanks to a sticker placed on the forehead. There are also similar devices that sense jaw movements or finger taps. Victor uses a braille display and a screen reader.
Hello, Victor. How are you doing today?
When a user gets proficient, they can actually understand this.
So you get the idea, right?
You can understand what they're saying?
Yeah, I can.
I have nothing against charity, nothing against philanthropy, but I've yet to meet a person with a disability who wants to be considered an object of charity. They want to be considered, in general, as part of the mainstream, which means, in part, they are customers, and they want to be seen as no less demanding or discerning a customer as anybody else.
Still, there's no doubt the lab's work is changing lives.
Salary increases are great, but nothing warms your heart better than hearing from users saying, I love your new feature that you guys implemented, or I loved using your particular site.
Yahoo's Accessibility Lab has been up and running for about 2 years now. Those working here say they hope in another 10 years, accessibility issues will be solved and the lab will no longer be needed.
In India, we have like 70 million users who are disabled, and at Yahoo, we are trying to ensure that our products are accessible so that all these 70 million users can enjoy all our products and benefit from them. Accessibility is even more important now because India has ratified the UN Convention for Rights for People with Disabilities, and I think Yahoo is one of the few companies in India that is doing extensive work in the field of accessibility, and I'm happy that Yahoo is supporting TechShare, which is the second international conference in the field of accessibility. Accessibility at Yahoo is part of user experience design, and we ensure that right from the beginning we have every requirement in terms of accessibility engraved into the design process.
Hello, welcome to Yahoo India Accessibility Lab. Yahoo India Accessibility Lab is an expansion to the lab we have in Sunnyvale and established in April 2009.
Yahoo India Accessibility Lab is an initiative of the Global Accessibility team along with the User Experience Design team. Here in the Accessibility Lab, we provide testing and solutions for various Yahoo properties.
Let us start with a screen reader and magnifier called Supernova. So this is our current window, and let me magnify it. Magnifier on, and I can actually increase my screen size to whatever I want. Since I'm a person with low vision, I can actually use this. And I also have a flexibility to change the color of this site. And this also gives me a speech feedback. So I have a flexibility to read it. So this gives me speech as well as magnification, and I can also reduce the magnification. So this is about the software which magnifies and the screen reader support, and if I have a braille display attached to it, it also provides the braille support. Let's move on. We have a trackball which is similar to the mouse, but this helps people who have got the mobility impairments. So those who can't use the regular mouse, they can actually use this and these buttons to activate the options. And this is the red color one which you are seeing here is something called big twist switch. I also have something called NVDA, which is an open source screen reader installed in it that speaks. So I'm trying to read this page using the arrow keys, and I'm using this switch. In a better way, I will use a menu. NVIDIA is an open source screen reader, and I have a flexibility to use it in different ways. I can view all the links of this page in a list box, and I can also switch to the headings of this page. And if this page has got any ARIA landmarks, it also displays those options. We do the manual testing using the screen readers and magnifiers. Besides, we also do the automated testing.
Using Wave to do the automated testing along with something called as the color contrast analyzer. Now the color contrast analyzer helps us perceive a property from an aspect of a person who is visually challenged, ensuring that the colors used in the website caters to people with special needs. What it essentially helps us to do is it scans through the code of the entire web page and then goes back and highlights areas that are not accessible in a specific website. This actually goes back and helps the tester to identify the areas that needs to be improved from an accessibility perspective, sits with the design and the development team to ensure that these are fixed. And in the
I'm also happy that we are partnering with Chief Commissioner of Persons with Disabilities and helping them build a accessible and highly usable website for accessibility. I think you'll see over time all the Yahoo products fully compliant with accessibility needs.